Hello, hello, day 19 of Moon 1. Chinese New Year was 18 days ago. Today is all about inclusion, or the title is inclusion, but really it's about pantheism as the 100 gods, the celebration of the 100 gods. Today is a day where the 100 gods would celebrate or pay tribute to the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor oversees all of the heavens. So we'll read through some of this again. We are still following the Lunar Tao by Den Mingdao, D-E-N-G, and then Mingdao is hyphenated, M-I-N-G-D-A-O. So it's a nice guide through day by day as to traditional practices that will happen throughout each day of every lunar cycle throughout the year. So, today is a celebration of the 100 gods. So on this day, all the gods in heaven pay their respects to the Jade Emperor, and people contribute with offerings of food, burning incense, and spirit money. In a private home, the head of the household might hang pictures or place statues of Guan Yin, or Kuan Yin, which is the female Buddha type deity, who is like an ascended person who has ascended beyond the need to reincarnate into human form, but now, rather than going to that, chooses to stay and oversee and guard, etc. Like a bodhisattva sort of type consciousness. Place statues of Guan Yin or Guan Yu, which is the god of wealth. Also the 3 stars, which we discussed yesterday, which were the if I remind myself, so happiness is first thing in the morning for me. So yes, come on brain. Happiness, prosperity, longevity. There we go. Yes. Okay, so in order to avoid omitting anyone, a bundle of pictures representing all the gods is placed at an altar. Among the representative gods included are the gods of heaven and earth, Dragon Kings, city gods, fire gods, Confucius and his disciples, star gods, gods of the weather, warrior heroes such as Yue Fei, and the gods of trade such as Luban, the patron of carpenters. Okay, yeah. So my eyes haven't still quite got focused yet, so reading is not the greatest, but yes. Okay, so it is obviously Daoism is a religion in that sense, but that celebrates many gods and all different gods that represent different elements, different cycles of nature, etc., as well as trades and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I should point out that my own religious beliefs, I don't really follow any specific religion. I am more of the alignment of, if it was to align with anything, it would be more like a Daoist Buddhist sort of alignment, but it's more about the ascension of your own consciousness, the aim towards that Buddha consciousness or Christ consciousness, etc. That kind of thing. So reincarnation kind of fits into my own personal belief, obviously, because all energy, all consciousness, all thoughts, all emotion, everything, it's all energy. And if energy just transposes from one state to another, it can neither be destroyed nor created. Then consciousness itself, however, whatever alignment that is, or however that appears, is in everything and is part of everything. Modern day physics sees things now as everything we physically see as light bending around consciousness itself. So beyond the realm of the physical death of, entropy into death and then decay of the physical body in which we inhabit it right now, something still carries on from that, and that is still a part of consciousness, and that consciousness obviously retains information. Whether that carries forth the identity of the name you were given at birth or changed, etc., through marriage or renaming yourself, who knows. But beyond that, I really just kind of like following I read a book by the Dalai Lama once called The Simple Path. I said I read a book. I read most of the book, and then I gave up at some point because I kept trying to read it in the bath, and I kept falling asleep and dropping the book in the bath. So I don't have that book anymore. Probably for those reasons. It probably rotted if I can remember. But okay, so Taoism is a decentralized religion. There is no single authority, and there are numerous local cults, regional beliefs, and practices originating outside China. It is a religion that exists on a folk level, with the common people keeping the beliefs that suit them. Okay. It is a religion that has grand rituals suited to emperors. It is a religion that has deep and abstruse mysticism and rigorous philosophy. The lunar calendar combines nature worship, Taoism, and Buddhism. The celebration of the 100 gods alone shows that no deity or hero is to be excluded. Yeah, so much like Hinduism, you'll see like Hinduism obviously has many gods, pantheistic, but it also you will see in some of their celebrations they will also celebrate Christianity. They will have like a crucifix there or something. They'll have icons from everything because ultimately it is an inclusive thing, but it's really looking at a celebration of consciousness, the ascension of consciousness. I think there's a thing it was called Shanti Shanti Om Namah, which is like a peace and salutations to all you are capable of becoming. So you celebrate what the human consciousness is capable of, rather than where someone is in their life right now. Okay, I'm not huge, or I don't know huge amounts on Hinduism, so if any of that's wrong, feel free to comment. Okay, but yes, so things like obviously Ascended Masters. This is a rose quartz of Kuan Yin, and little Buddha that came back from Thailand, which was a present brought back for me from Thailand. I do need to crack on because I am going to be late if not so. So we will go more into sort of like transcendental sort of things, but for now I'm just going to read one excerpt from the Tao Te Ching, and it's number 32. So, the Tao cannot be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. Okay, so we're really talking about, when we talk about the Tao, we're talking about consciousness, yeah? So, the field. So a lot of physics nowadays, or physicists, will refer to it as the field. So that which is like beyond subatomic. You know, it's when you look at empty space, when people talk about 0 point energy. So when you look at what is empty space, there's no such thing as empty space. It is full of and that is what people can tap into. People like Nikola Tesla tapped into 0 point energy. Numerous people have tapped into zero point energy. They've all tried to patent it to make their fortunes, and that they've either then sold that patent to large energy companies who have then hidden it, or those people have disappeared, or they've been ridiculed like Tesla, etc. But 0 point energy, there is energy everywhere, and that is potentially what Reiki is in that sense. It's utilizing that and channeling it. Lots of different systems, lots of different beliefs, but from a scientific point of view, that is one that is, demonstrable is probably the best word for that, or demonstratable. Okay, so let's start that again. So the Tao you could think of as the field, or the almost like the difference between the Tao and the Wu. You'll hear the word Wu, and it comes up tomorrow's one. Wu means nothingness or emptiness, and this is where the term woo-woo comes from. But they used to have the things called the Daoist Wu, who people who would like just deal with the unknown, etc. That will be tomorrow's. So, right, the Tao cannot be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. the world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know that their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao as rivers flow into the sea. So, yes, that is kind of that reincarnation thing, obviously. So we come from consciousness, we return to consciousness, but that is true consciousness, not what we think of as consciousness, which is, you could think of like the id, like what Freud described as the id and the ego and all that kind of stuff. But yes, okay, not really much to expand on from that, or well, effectively you could, but you go into like all sort of transcendental meditation type sort of things, and I really haven't got time right now because I need to get to work. But I will start throwing little bits in here and there to try and keep these videos as short as possible, 20 minutes maximum. Okay, my name's Ollie, this is Red Sun Horizons. I am an Eastern physiotherapy practitioner from the south of England. And if you are local and obviously you want any of those kind of experience or things, I do teach Daoist one-to-ones. I may go back into teaching martial arts at some point, but I need to look back into insurance, and there's a whole load of legality type things, but that's probably not going to be till next year. But also, yes, I'm a tweener, acupressure, deep tissue massage, etc. Acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, and things like diet and food and herbs and all that kind of stuff. And I am a Thai massage practitioner, so I'm always sat effectively on my Thai mat. The Thai mat is generally out for more things than more often than other things, because most stuff I prefer to do from the Thai mat, except for tweener. Acupuncture I do at a different location in Albert Road. For people who are in South Sea, should know where that is. And then the crystal therapy, I prefer to do crystal therapy from the floor as well. It gives so much more scope, and it just feels nicer being on the floor rather than, you know, trying to fall asleep on a couch with crystals on you and things fall and you always have this element of feeling like you're going to fall off. It's not the same, and people just feel more grounded and more comfortable on the floor. You can let your arms flay out. If you're on a couch, they're hanging off. So there's all of that. Okay, but yes, those are my therapies, along with some sound therapy and Reiki, my first ever practice beyond Qigong and martial arts was Reiki. So everything I do is from a TCM diagnosis, so traditional Chinese medicine. Can't speak today. So traditional Chinese medicine, so working from pulse, tongue diagnosis, and numerous questions and I want to say interrogation, but effectively that is a type of thing, questioning. Yeah, that's me. That's all done for today, and I will see you tomorrow.